Welcome back to the podcast. We are here on the 8th of September, a couple of days away from the Thursday night football kickoff of this NFL season between the Houston Texans and the Kansas City Chiefs. This episode is going to be about NFC North division. We just spoke about the NFC West, there's a ton of talent in there. Definitely love the Seahawks. This one, we're going to dig deep into the Chicago Bears, Detroit Lions, Green Bay Packers, and the Minnesota Vikings. We're going to start it off with the Chicago Bears. This team is coming in on the backs of Mitchell Trubisky right now. They're going to go with him. It's all strategic with Matt Nagy, what he's trying to do. Obviously, he doesn't want to go start with Foles and then go back to Trubisky because there's no hope in Trubisky. So you give Trubisky a chance to start out the season. And then if he fails, we have Nick Foles to come in and rescue the team. And then if Trubisky fails at the beginning, then that's pretty much done for him. They gave him plenty of chances and opportunities. It sucks that, things didn't go well in that first run in his rookie year because of Cody Parkey missed field goal. But this is how the dice rolls. So we're going to dig deep into this Chicago offense. I'm not touching the quarterback situation. You have Trubisky. We know what he is. He is not a good quarterback. That was a wasted pick that they laid and put on him. So I'm not. There's a lot of question marks banking on him. He does have a lot of motivation where he needs to produce in this situation or it's over for him. If you want to take that angle, by all means you can. Nick Foles is not a person I'm looking for as well. Maybe in week 4 or 5, a little later on, he could be a fill-in if he's the starter at that time, because I think he can take advantage of these wide receivers that they do have on this team. Allen Robinson and Anthony Miller are the only two weapons I'm really looking at. Allen Robinson's going in that round, late round 2, early round 3 area, and he is a consistent commodity on this offense. It doesn't matter if Foles is starting or Trubisky. This man is going to get his targets, almost 100 targets. He's going to get his receptions, his receiving yards, and touchdowns. He is a number 1 wide receiver, and it doesn't matter which quarterback it is. It's going to benefit him if it's Foles because he's a better quarterback, but it doesn't matter either way. And then Anthony Miller was coming on late last season. You can get him in round 9, round 10. If you look at some of these weeks, he was putting together 9 catches, 15 targets, 118 yards, and a touchdown. 9 catches, 13 targets, 140 yards. 6 catches, 77 yards. 6 catches, 54 yards with 11 targets. He has potential in that middle area to catch balls and move chains. I like Anthony Miller going pretty late in the drafts, and Allen Robinson is going a little earlier. Running back situation for this team right now, David Montgomery is injured, but he is only a few weeks away, so he has a shot to be ready for the season opener, and he's going to get a ton of work. This guy, as you can see, he had 242 attempts, just didn't produce that many yards per carry. That was the problem. That's why he only had 889 yards. If he had a better yards per carry, he probably would have went over 1,000. So he's pretty much a lock to get the work, and they're not bringing anyone in because obviously they believe he's going to be back in time, and then they have some guys to fill in like Tariq Cohen, like Cordarrelle Patterson. These are some weapons that will be utilized in this Bears offense to help subside the rushing problem that they have with David Montgomery at the moment. But Tariq Cohen, was a big weapon in this Chicago Bears offense 2 years ago. Had a little bit of a down year last year, but Matt Nagy is very, very innovative with this type of scat back and receiving back that they have in Tariq Cohen. So there's a little bit of potential there. Like I said, David Montgomery's going around 5, round 6. And now, because of the injury, Tariq Cohen is going right behind him around 6 and around 7. But the only 2 options I'm really focusing on is pretty much Allen Robinson and Anthony Miller on this team. And we're going to move on into Detroit. because that's pretty much of a wasteland. You don't really want to stack the Chicago Bears. The Detroit Lions is going to be the next team. Matt Stafford is the quarterback, and he's going pretty late, round 10 or round 11. As long as this man stays healthy, he has a ton of potential. But injuries is the name of the game with this guy, and if only he could stay healthy. As you can see, week 9, 29 DK. Week 8, 27 DK. Week 7, 32. The potential is there. He has a rocket arm, great weapons to throw to. Kenny Galladay, and more. That he has Marvin Jones Jr. right here. And then TJ Hawkinson was a big rookie tight end that emerged for a few weeks. He was hit or miss, but I think coming into his second year, he can go to the next level. Kenny Galladay is going around the same area that Allen Robinson is, and this is a huge touchdown target guy. He's going to get over 1,000 yards and the touchdowns. That's what you want, and that's the big point maker. That's if you want to choose. If you're PPR, Allen Robinson. If you're just a regular playing league, Kenny Galladay, because the TDs are going to be there. He gets a ton of yards per catch, very deep targets down the field, and he's a very consistent wide receiver. Same goes for Marvin Jones, another deep wide receiver that they have on this in this wide receiver group right here. 9 touchdowns, almost had 10, just under 800 yards of receiving. So he's getting a little bit less work. He doesn't have as much yak as Kenny Galladay does, but Marvin Jones is a big play wide receiver in this wide receiver core, and they both go for above 15 points per game. So you can't go wrong with either or. You're getting a huge discount on Marvin Jones, who's getting forgotten about in around 6, around 7. So if you want to wait, you can. And then later in these rounds, you can get TJ Hawkinson, who had some huge weeks last year, mainly in the beginning, and that was pretty much it. After that, week 1 against Arizona, who was a tight end funnel, he was very hit or miss. And then you did have the injury to Matt Stafford, so he wasn't there after week 9. So you understand the fall to TJ Hawkinson. So with Matt Stafford back at quarterback, he can go to the next level this year. And then at running back, DeAndre Swift, it continues to creep up draft boards. The signing of Adrian Peterson does question the reliability of Swift that they have, because he is questionable right now. He does have an injury, but that signing of Adrian Peterson does mean that Swift isn't 100%, and this is not a minor injury. This could be a major injury. We do not know yet, but that signing of Peterson is going to hurt DeAndre Swift. So where he was going now, because he was jumping up draft boards at almost round 4. He was creeping up to that range. But I think you need to temper your expectations. Dynasty strong candidate. But later in the season, you can see DeAndre Swift, come on. Probably mid-season to late season, he'll come on a little bit stronger. Just because of this injury, did give an opportunity to Kerryon Johnson. They looked at him, probably didn't like what they seen, and that's why they got the opportunity to get Adrian Peterson. So Detroit Lions are on a lower tier of stacks. I'm not really liking them as a stack because Matthew Stafford is so volatile. But the pass-catching wide receivers that they have between Galladay and Marvin Jones Jr. are big impact guys, and they are very, very consistent. So I would trust those two out of the whole stack. I would even stack it. Like I said, same situation with the Bears. Just get these 2 wide receivers, and you will be happy. Okay? And we are moving on to our next stack. Next stack is going to be the Green Bay Packers. Almost had an opportunity to get to the Super Bowl. Let me down just a little bit. But I think Aaron Rodgers is going to come back bigger, stronger, angrier. There's a lot of motivation on his side. Losing Danica Patrick. His team drafts a quarterback when he needs wide receiver help. They get another running back to bolster their now 3-headed monster, AJ Dillon. And I think Aaron Rodgers is going to take his game to a whole nother level. He's going to bring it back. It's going to be a little throwback. I think Davante Adams is going to be the number one wide receiver in fantasy football. As long as he stays healthy, he could have been. He had 100 catches. He had over 1,200 yards. He had 7 TDs. Injuries were a problem for a few weeks between week 5, week 6, week 7, week 8. He did miss some games, but this guy is consistent double-digit targets each and every week, on average getting 7 catches and pretty much 100 yards every game. Okay? So Davante Adams is an elite wide receiver. Impossible to guard, especially with Aaron Rodgers throwing to him with back shoulder fades and all the stuff that they do with the screens and everything. They have an elite connection with each other. I love Davante Adams. He should be going first off the boards. And then Michael Thomas right behind him. And then a very sneaky wide receiver to get, Alan Lazard, Lazard as if you want correct pronunciation. This dude was coming on a little lately. Aaron Rodgers and him were getting connection. And he was emerging as the number 2, and he is the number 2. Marquez Valdes-Scantling and Jay Kumro has been cut. Lazard is the guy in this wide receiver group as the number 2. And he's going really late, round 12, round 13. No one's really looking at him at all. And then there's huge question marks with the tight end. Sternberger has a nice size and speed combination. Robert Tonyan, we seed him last year. Mercedes Lewis is a reliable veteran. So the dude with some upside is Sternberger, but I'm not really expecting much. I'm really focusing on Aaron Rodgers, Davante Adams, Alan Lazard, and then these backs that they have. Aaron Jones had a ridiculous season last year, running the rock. 23 touchdowns. That is hard to replicate, but he doesn't have to replicate it because he could just get 15 touchdowns and still be a top 10 running back, getting over 250 carries, which he is going to get. Don't worry about that. He is going to be splitting a little bit of time with A.J. Dillon. But I think it's more of A.J. Dillon taking Jamal Williams' carries more than A.J. Dillon taking Aaron Jones' carries. So I can see that them two fighting for a position. Aaron Jones is still the top dog in this offense. They are about to pay the man anyway. He's about to get an extension very soon. That's why I see A.J. Dillon being a very sneaky late play, because that third down work can go to him and not Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams was solid, but there's a reason why they got a third running back, and they want to, especially in goal line situations, A.J. Dillon is going to be huge, and short yardage situations as well, because Jamal Williams is just like a pass catching back. He's not, 3rd and 1, he's coming in, he's going to get you that guaranteed yard. A.J. Dillon is definitely that guy, okay? So I really like the Green Bay Packers stack. It's higher up on my rankings list, probably like top 10, because it's just I really believe in Aaron Rodgers, and you saw what this team was able to do. And then Davante Adams, clear cut, should be the number 1 wide receiver in fantasy. And then we're going to finish off with the Minnesota Vikings. Kirk Cousins coming in on another year, losing Stephon Diggs, losing Stefanski to the Browns. There are some question marks. I don't know how this offense is going to look, but Kirk Cousins is going to lean on Adam Thielen a lot. He was his favorite target anyway, even when Diggs was here. Now Diggs is gone. Cousins to Thielen is going to be very prevalent in this offense. And also, I like Justin Jefferson as their young rookie wide receiver, going to work in that X wide receiver slot. Now, Kirk Cousins, you can get him super late. He's not really being drafted at all. Adam Thielen, you're going to have to go in that round 2, round 3 range just because the volume that he's going to get. This man is the same guy that had, 10 games of 100 yards receiving. And now Justin Jefferson is going to hop into that Stephon Diggs role. and he's going to take over those targets. So this is a young and up and coming wide receiver from LSU. Definitely has tons of talent, size and speed combination, and you can get him in round 10 and around 11. Okay, Dalvin Cook had a absolute monster year last year as well, and he's going in the first round. Obviously, he's a lead bell cow. He's going top 5, as you can see right here. 1,200 yards, 15 touchdowns. Like I said, Aaron Jones at 23. I can see Aaron Jones having this exact stat line and being just fine. So Dalvin Cook should get the same amount of work. He's getting receptions as well. 62 catches, 563 yards, no touchdowns, which was a little bit of a bummer, but he did get plenty of TDs in the rushing game. He is what they lean on in the red zone. Dalvin Cook is an absolute monster, going that top 5 range. And that's how you build that stack. You get Cousins super late. Get Cook when you first start off your draft. You get Thielen in round 2 or round 3, and then come back really later and get Justin Jefferson. A tight end sleeper that you can speak about right now is I think is Irv Smith. I like Kyle Rudolph. He is another guy that was a huge red zone target. He had 7 TDs, not that many yards, okay? Not that many yards. But when they get in that red zone area, it was Rudolph, it was Dalvin Cook. It was Rudolph, it was Dalvin Cook. With the departure of Stephon Diggs, you can also see an opportunity for Irv Smith right here out of Alabama. Has size, has speed. He can take, if they do a 12 personnel formation, he can come in and be that pass catching tight end while Kyle Rudolph blocks. And he is very explosive, Irv Smith Jr. And I think this can be an opportunity. He can be really sneaky, and no one's talking about him at all. Kyle Rudolph is the veteran, but I think Irv Smith can have a better year than Kyle Rudolph, all right? And these are the weapons they're going to lean on. They made great acquisitions to the defense. They do have question marks at the cornerback position, but for this purposes, for this video with the stack, love Kirk Cousins, love Dalvin Cook, love Thielen, love Justin Jefferson, and late undrafted pick, Irv Smith. So that's 2 people right there. Kirk Cousins going undrafted and Irv Smith going undrafted. Build your stack core around Dalvin Cook, Thielen, and Justin Jefferson, okay? Minnesota is going to be a really good team this year. It's going to be between them and Green Bay. This is a very good week 1 game, okay? And I'm going to dig into that when I go over, the games later this week. But for now, that was the NFC North breakdown. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Please follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MessNessJustD. I appreciate you guys. I will see you tomorrow, and peace out.